Good afternoon. I hope you guys have been doing well. So after my last video, I was left with some questions. I thought, what if Jesus returns exactly 2000 years after he left? We know God to be very precise. And my last video, I had this slide. And it is just this slide that shows 13th of April, which is Passover in the year 2029. And that's exactly 2000 years after Jesus' first Passover. And I've got some more slides that actually you'll find very interesting concerning this. But this specific date was marked with a sign in the heavens, which is the close flyby of a porpoise. And that is exactly 2000 years. So that is what got me to thinking, but if Jesus marked his 2000th Passover with a sign in the heavens, isn't it possible that he will return exactly 2000 years after he left? Now, he left on Ascension Day. So it makes sense that it would be 2000 years later on Ascension Day as well, where Jesus would return. Jesus left on Ascension Day in 32 AD. Here I've worked out the date in 2032 as 19 June 2032. So here you can see the year is 2032, you've got the full moon, you've got New Moon Day, April 25th, then the 1st of April would be the next day, the 1st of April, 1st of Nisan would be the next day, and then you've got Passover on May 9 and first fruits on 11. So counting from 11, with 11 being the first day, meaning that the counter had to start at 10 because 11 would be the next day. Add 40 days and you get to 19 June 2032, Ascension Day. So I had another look at this picture from a previous video, and here you can see the time span. And you can see it begins on the 1st of Nisan, which is 14 April in the year 32, and it's marked by blood moon. So the month of Nisan is marked by a blood moon, the whole month. And then the end period is the month of Nisan in the year 2033, which is also 14 April. So you can see 14 April, also marked with a blood moon. So any start date in Nisan year would be then correspond 2000 completed years to the end date, whether it is Passover, resurrection, any of those days could indicate the start and end. But it is exactly then 2000 completed years. In other words, it runs past 2000.99 and just before it turns 2001. And then I thought, but if Jesus could also be away from us for exactly 2000 years, then that would be 8 June 32 AD. That is Ascension Day. It's a couple of months after April. And it's exactly 2000 years to 19 June 2032 AD, Ascension Day. And this is now using the lunisolar calendar, which is the calendar that they used. It would be exactly 2000 years on 19 June. And it's obvious to me that the blood moons were very important. So then I thought, when was the last time we had a blood moon? And it was, of course, the 3rd of March 2026, where we had a blood moon. And what immediately piqued my interest was that it is exactly 60 days later, after the 3rd of January, which is New Moon Day. On the next day would be 1st of Kislev, but this is New Moon Day. And we've got that as the rider on the white horse. If you've seen the previous video, you would see that Stellarium. It is Kislev, and he's got a bow and arrow, well, a bow, and he's wearing a crown, multiple crowns. And I have that as the beginning. And then 60 days later, we've got a blood moon. And then at the end of the period here is where Jesus returns on the 19th of June. And this is exactly 2,300 days. Now, this is the first time I've seen 2,300 days in all my investigating and research into the study of, when possibly God could return. But what's also interesting is 19 June 2032 is 300 days before the blood moon, which signifies the end of the period of grace. And then if you were to extend this further to the 14th of May, which is second Passover, it would be 330 days. So this is a significant reduction in the time, because the Bible does say that the time will be shortened, lest no flesh will be saved. And this is a perfect day that makes a lot of sense to me, because it is exactly 2,000 years after Jesus left. Now this 2,300 days is very interesting to me. It is written specifically, it's written in some translations as 2,300 days, and in other translations it's written as 2,300 mornings and evenings. But the Hebrew says mornings and evenings, so it's actually 1,150 days. But there's a reason why it was written as 2,300. So obviously the 1,150 days is applicable, and the 2,300 days. So there's a hidden meaning. And what was quite strange is that I found the hidden part first, because the 1,150 days just refers to the exact length of the COVID shutdown. And the 2,300 days, well, we have it now here. It is from the blood moon till the return of Jesus on Ascension Day, which is 2,000 years after he left. In Daniel 8 verse 14 we read, "And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleaned." You can see the time is reduced over here. So when Jesus returns at this point, he cleans the sanctuary. Now the word sanctuary means to be separate or apartness. So at this point over here, the Antichrist would have already set himself up in the temple of God, declaring himself to be God. And we know from the Bible that the temple of God is the human body. The Bible gives multiple references to that. And we also know that God does not live in temples made by human hands. So the human body temple will be inhabited by those that have taken the mark of the beast. And this is where the Antichrist sets himself up in the temple of God, declaring himself to be God. So when Jesus returns and he cleans the sanctuary, which means separateness or apartness, it basically means that he is going to separate the goats and the sheep at that point. Okay, so then I thought, what about the peace treaty 7 years before that? So we've got Ascension Day over here, but now if we count back, you can see it's only 6 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So obviously that doesn't fit. This is 19 June 2026. It's exactly 6 years now previously, but it doesn't fit. So obviously it's not applicable to the shortened time frame, this 19 June. We have to look at the time frame before it is shortened. So looking at that, then we can see that the timeline ends on the 28th of May 2026. This timeline begins on the 6th of July 2026, and the midpoint is 16 December 2026, which is 25 Kislev Hanukkah. Before we continue, I just need to mention that this 19 June 2026 is Ascension Day based on the Mazzaroth, or the second Passover. So you have the one Passover beginning in April, and you have the other Passover normally beginning in May. And during the time of Jesus, those two Passovers were in sync, because the one is determined by the first full moon after the spring equinox, and during the time of Jesus, that was always also the first full moon after the star Abib was sighted in the hand of Elul. And they were always in sync, but due to the precision of the equinox, they have drifted apart now, about a month apart today. And this is why we have two different Passovers today. The one is based on the spring equinox, which is earth-based. The equinox is earth-based. And the other one is based on astronomy, and that is when the sun is actually in Nisan, or Aries. So all the dates in this presentation is using the Mazzaroth, or the second Passover. So that's Ascension Day on the Mazzaroth. And counting to Passover on the Mazzaroth, which is 28 May, we've seen as the end of the extended timeline, and that's 2,535 days. Now this is not a number that's found in the Bible, but this is just used for calculation purposes. But what I found most interesting, that if you count 7 prophetic years, so that's 7 years where each month is 30 days, from the 19th of June, you get to the 13th of May 2033. Now this is a very interesting date, because the 14th of May 2033 is the first of Nisan on the Mazzaroth, or the astronomically correct Passover, when the sun is in Aries. And that is one day before it would have been 2001 years. Now, if you recall from the previous slide, we've got the 2000-year cycle, and it begins on the 1st of Nisan, which is 14 April in the year 32 AD, and then that runs for 2000 completed years to the 14th of April in the year 2033, and that is then 2000 completed years. But you have to now, if you take the precession of the equinox into consideration, so if you were looking at the stars or the heavenly calendar, then that 14 April is actually 14 May 2033. That's the first Nisan on the astronomically correct calendar, the 14th of May, and the 13th is one day before that. So in other words, just 2000.99 before it turns into 2001 years. And I found that to be very interesting. But if we were to count from the 19th to the end of the extended timeline, we get that 2,535 days. And if we find the midpoint of that, it's 1,267.5 days, and the 0.5 days, you can just write this 12 hours. So if we were to add that to the 19th of June, we get to the 6th of December 2029, 12 o'clock at noon. Now the 6th of December we've seen, it's on the timeline. That is where on the timeline the abomination of desolation is set up. It is also the 15th of Kislev, which in the book of Maccabees, which can be found in the Septuagint, is also the date that's given where the abomination of desolation is set up. And it's interesting to me that it's specifically 12 o'clock at noon, or at noon, which is 12 o'clock, of course. And that made me think of the book of Amos, where it says, I'll make the sun go down at noon. A little interesting tidbit of information that isn't really valid, but on the 5th of December, there is a partial solar eclipse visible in South Africa. So the 6th of December, so we have two timelines. We've got the 2,300-day timeline, where the 6th of December is indicated, and we've got the extended timeline, where the 6th of December is indicated. And both of them refer to the abomination of desolation being set up, as foretold in the book of Maccabees. So we have two different timelines. We have a shortened one, and we have the extended one. Daniel 9 verse 27 we read, And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abomination he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and the determined shall be poured out upon the desolate. So we've seen now on the 2,300-day timeline, the middle of the week is the 6th of December. And here it says, in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. Now the sacrifice is Jesus' Holy Spirit within us, sacrificing, Jesus' sacrifice, causing our daily sins to be forgiven. Every day our sins are forgiven by the blood of Jesus. But in the middle of the week, on the 6th of December, the abomination of desolation, those that take the mark of the beast, will cause that their sacrifice or their sins will no longer be forgiven, because the abomination causes God to leave the body temple desolate. So God is displaced out of the body temple, and that is Thessalonians, where he says he will set himself up in the temple of God, the human body, declaring himself to be God. So we can see that that happens at the 6th of December. And on this timeline, we can see that the abomination is set up on the 6th of December. So on the shortened timeline, the 6th of December is in the middle of the week. And in this timeline, the 16th of December is the middle of the week. And they are both valid, because on the 6th of December, we see the abomination is set up, and it's the middle of the week of the shortened timeline. But on this one, the sacrifices are reinstated. And this is where I have the Third World War beginning. And that is basically just the Satanists sacrificing everyone, because there will be lots of death. But the time doesn't run to May anymore. It runs to 19 June. So shortened by 330 days. If you take Nisan 1 to Nisan 1 over the 2,000 years. So I thought this was quite interesting that the two different timelines all point, and they specifically mention the 6th of December. Here is something else that I found very interesting. So from the 16th of December, the midpoint, we have 917 days remaining of the Great Tribulation till the 19th of June. But now if we take this 917 days from the 6th of December, it's 927 days. And look what we've been discussing so far. Daniel 9 verse 27, 927. I quickly have to explain something. Sometimes I make changes to the timeline and I don't explain it at the time. So if someone was to check, for example, some day counts, they would get a wrong day count and they would be confused. So by now you should know the Nisan 14 and the Nisan 15 calendar. The Nisan 14 calendar being earth-based and the Nisan 15 calendar being heaven-based. But they run in conjunction with one another. And the one, obviously, you see the new moon rising at dusk, and that is the new moon day or new moon night. And then you count the next day, and you get to crucifixion on Nisan 14, which is as per the book of John. And then the other one is Nisan 1, is whenever the moon is full, that is counted. And it's heaven-based. God doesn't need to look at horizons. And that would get to Nisan 15, crucifixion. So both are the same Gregorian day, but it is Nisan 14 or 15, and that explains the difference between the Synoptic Gospels and the Gospel of John. But there is an issue, because if you look at year 2026, for example, we've got full moon on May 1, and then we have 16 days to get to the dark moon. Because if you look at the differences between phases, sometimes it's 7 days, sometimes it's 6 days, and sometimes it's 8 days. So it's not constant, and they vary all the time. It is not a very good way of measuring. But the one thing that we need to keep into consideration, now, this is the Mazzaroth. Now, although this Nisan 15 calendar is heaven-based, it isn't the Mazzaroth as such, because it counts on Earth cycles. But the Mazzaroth is a representation purely on heaven. So when the Mazzaroth looks at the anniversary of the crucifixion, it looks at the yearly anniversary of the dark moon. Jesus was crucified on the dark moon. And every year in April there's a dark moon. And as these two calendars have drifted apart, it is still April or May on the dark moon. But now the issue we have, for example, is if you look at the year 2026 May, you have the first. Say if you were to put in there the first, then you would get to the 14th, but the dark moon is on May 16. And if you would use the Nisan 15 calendar, you would go from the first and you would get to the 15th. So it can't be represented by any one of those two. So the problem is, how do we then do it? Because God only looks at the moon. For him, the crucifixion anniversary is on the dark moon. And we try to measure accordingly with our limited calendars, and we cannot do it. And the only way to compensate for that, and this is purely a symbolic calendar, but the one thing about the Mazzaroth is that the dark moon must be on the crucifixion, saying we have to get the 16th of May on that day, because that is the anniversary of Jesus' crucifixion. And the one way to do it, the only way to do it, is that the Mazzaroth, then the symbolic representation of the crucifixion, the first day is Nisan 1. So it can represent either one of these two calendars. But the first day here would be Nisan 1. So in other words, either that day or that day. Now, May the 1st is Nisan 1 over here. And then if you count, you get to Nisan 15. That doesn't work. That is Nisan 1. That's May 1, that's May 2, and then if you count, you get to the same Gregorian date. But this Nisan 1 must go in there then. But then Nisan 1 there is 2nd May, because that's New Moon Day plus 1. So counting from the 2nd of May, you get to the 16th, which is the full moon. And that is why I've used the 16th in my calculations, although I haven't explained it up to now. But I think I always need to explain because I'm pretty sure sometimes people check and then they wonder, but I'm making up dates as I go along. But this is my understanding that was given to me, and the Mazzaroth, according to God, his anniversary of the crucifixion is not on the earth based, it is on the dark moon. Just a little preview of what I'm busy with at the moment, and this is probably going to be in my next video. So all these coincidences about the 2000 years make me think, let me see if I can find some more, and I did. So here's the year 28 AD, and this is the year in which Jesus turned 30 on the Feast of Trumpets, the 22nd of September. But what I found was quite interesting. So here you have November full moon, November 20th. And the time there is 17 minutes to 10, which means it's 17 minutes to 12 Israel time. Which also means that when the moon rose at dusk on the 20th, it was still part of the previous month. It didn't count as a full moon. So at 12 o'clock that would turn over to 21, but it would still be 20 on the full moon calendar because that only changes over at 6 o'clock in the morning. But then at 6 o'clock it would turn to 21. And that the 21st, on the 21st at dusk, would be counted as the full moon. So that would be November 21st, New Moon Day. So the 1st of Kislev would be the 22nd of November. What is interesting is that in the year 2029, we have, according to the Book of Maccabees, the 15th of Kislev and the 25th of Kislev as being on the 6th of December and the 16th of December. In this year, when Jesus turns 30, it is exactly the same again. The 25th of Kislev is the 16th December 28 AD, and the 15th is, of course, the 6th. So again, just another coincidence. But one thing I must say, I put the slide in because I found it and it was quite exciting to me. And I already decided that I will investigate further because I don't want to make such long videos. People don't like long videos. And then as I'm busy with it, I'm beginning to investigate as well, and it's just going more and more. So I'm just going to stop it right here. One thing that I can say is from the 22nd of September to November 21st, New Moon Day, is 90 days exactly. So 3 prophetic months. But anyway, I'm going to stop it right here before I carry on, so I can investigate at my leisure. And I wish you all a blessed day. Goodbye.